right. Hello, everybody. We want to thank you for joining our first ever SEEK Safely Roundtable discussion. We have with us tonight a number of SEEK's board members. There's Glenn Doyle, the doc, Deborah Goldstein, a longtime SEEK board member, Tony Kirby, and Ginny Brown, SEEK's founder and the mother of Kirby Brown, and I am Jean Brown. So we decided to start doing these monthly roundtable discussions because when we held our virtual Kirby Jam event in December, we were able, in a virtual format, we ended up giving people a lot of information about what we had been up to over the year, what we had accomplished, and what we were hoping to get up to in the year to come. And a lot of people said they really appreciated having this kind of update from us and getting more details about what we've been doing. So we thought it might be a nice opportunity to sort of do this on a more regular basis so that people can stay connected with us. And we also hope that we can maybe bring in some guests depending on what our topic is going to be that we'll be covering. So for this first one, we had our annual board retreat we have every January. So we just had our board retreat like 2 weeks ago, and we have lots of plans for 2021. So we thought tonight would just be a good opportunity to go over those plans with everybody and talk about some upcoming events. So in our first segment, we're going to be talking about some of those goals for 2021. So I'm going to kick out some of our board members here. See you guys soon. And okay. I will bring them back when we need them. And
doctor.
Yeah, I'll keep the doc in with me. He's going to help me talk about some of these things that we have planned for the year. So.
And just kicking everybody out.
Kicking everyone out. It's my favorite thing to do.
You guys watching don't even know. Like Jean has been learning how to do the software and everything. She's gone power mad. She just kicked her mom out, guys.
I did. It's pretty savage, but I like it.
Savage. You guys also need to know, like everybody watching this, that Jean just mentioned our annual board retreat that SEEK Safely usually does. Normally, like we all go to New York. That's where SEEK is based in West County, New York. And Ginny, Jean's mom, our founder, she makes lunch for us, and it's all really great, and it's a great time and whatnot. This year, it's like us in our houses, like staring at screens, like all you guys. I prefer last year's.
I know. It's always a homecoming for me. I get to fly into New York, and it's a lot of fun. And this year is just,
That's true.
It's what it is.
We have a positive attitude.
Yep.
Because we're into self-help. We're into not toxic positivity.
No.
But
healthy positivity.
Healthy positivity. Darn straight. So.
Yeah. So we have a number of very positive goals for 2021.
Well, depending on who you are, they're positive for us. They may not be positive for some figures in the self-help industry.
That's possible, but they'll be positive for the people who are looking for self-help.
That's true.
One of the things in 2020 that was really interesting for us was when the Guru podcast came out. And if you joined us for our December event, you would have seen Matt Stroud, who is the creator of that podcast. Oh. And it was a great opportunity for SEEK because we had a few of our board members, including the doc, involved in that podcast to discuss what had happened at Spiritual Warrior when my sister died, and that was the start of SEEK. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we discovered as a result of this podcast was that it really helped us reach a whole new audience. And we had a whole bunch of people sign up for our newsletter. We had a bunch of new self-help providers sign up for the SEEK Safely Promise, which is a sort of Bill of Rights, a commitment to seekers that self-help providers can make to their clients, some commitments to their clients.
And just as a side note, you guys watching this, you might hear us talk about the SEEK Promise And if you listen to the Guru podcast from Wondery Media, there's almost an entire episode about the Seek Safely promise. If you guys go to our Facebook page, we actually have the Seek promise as the cover photo on the Facebook page, and so you guys can really get a view of what we're talking about when we say the Seek Safely promise. And what it is basically the bare minimum. Like if you're going to be in this industry and you're going to call yourself a self-help, or even if you don't call yourself a self-help provider or guru, like it seems a lot of these people don't like to call themselves gurus. Right? I'm not a guru.
Yeah.
But the point is, if you go to our Facebook page, you'll get a it's right there in our cover photo what the Seek promise is.
Yeah. So if you see what the promise is, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple, pretty basic set of principles that we are asking self-help providers to adhere to. Bare minimum, exactly.
Like I'm a licensed psychologist, and the hoops that I have to go through to keep my licenses current and all the et cetera, et cetera. If you're going to be in this industry, I think you should maybe commit to the bare minimum of I won't lie about who I am. Maybe. I won't lie about the experience that I have. Maybe. Not that this has ever been a problem. Not that we've ever had that problem. And if you've listened to the Guru podcast, you know all about that as well.
Yeah.
I also want to add, Jean mentioned Matt Stroud, the host of the Guru podcast from Wondery Media. If you get the chance and if you're on Twitter, go look up Matt Stroud, because he's an amazing journalist. He, in addition to his work covering James Arthur Ray and some aspects of the self-help movement, he's also done a lot of journalism on things like facial recognition and how that's being used in law enforcement, and kind of some of these civil liberties issues and some of the problems with that one. So he has a really interesting, impressive body of work. So again, on Twitter, go check out Matt Stroud. I think he's just at Matt Stroud.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's great. He's a really a good guy, and he's, we know from dealing with him that he's extremely thorough. And the Guru podcast was just a really good overview of what had happened at James Ray's event. And
I'm sorry to interrupt. It also, the thing that I really loved about Guru, in addition to the fact that they sought out just the best experts to be on the Guru podcast, what I loved about it was that it wasn't just hyper focused on the tragedy in Sedona. Like I think Matt and Wondery actually went out of their way to kind of contextualize the fact that it wasn't just this freak accident. Really kind of the culmination of a guy who had been doing business in a really negligent way, and the industry that let him do business that way.
Yeah.
Because it isn't really, it's not just the problem that it's not regulated.
Yeah.
The self-help industry is really well understood. And I think Matt did a really good job in highlighting that, which dovetails well with SEEK's mission. Like, again, not just about preventing the terrible tragedies, although we are about that. We're also for a healthier, more productive, safer self-help industry in general.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the promise has been one of the ways that we've tried to connect with self-help providers, because we always want to make it clear that, we're not anti-self-help. We really believe in the value of the self-help industry. We just want to make it better. We want to make it, safer for the people who want to use it. So I think the goal that we sort of took out of the experience of the Guru podcast was that we want to find other opportunities to connect with this audience, both the seekers and the self-help providers. So that's one of the things that we're going to be trying to do. And we really want to engage with all of the people who have signed the promise. So, we have like almost 200 people at this point who have signed this promise. We'd love to talk to them about what that means to them in terms of their business and their commitment to their customers. Why did they sign the promise? What will that look like in practice for them in their business? We'd love to talk to some of them about that. So again, this forum of our monthly roundtable discussion, we'd love to have some of them join us for that. And yeah.
So what you can do if you're watching us right now, what we would actually really, really love is, most of the people who engage with self-help content on social media, at least, have a few people that they follow, right? You have people, and they may be super famous people, they may be lesser known, people, such as myself, but you have your people. What we would really love is if you could reach out to, shoot them an @ on Twitter, and send them our way and say, make them aware of our organization and kind of what we're all about, et cetera, et cetera. Because what we're trying to do is create an environment where the people who are not just the clients and consumers in this industry, but really the people who are providing the content and providing the services. We want to help folks be good citizens of the self-help community. And it's not necessarily, it's not on us to judge who is a good citizen in the community, but we want to make that easier to do. We want to make it easier to be ethical and to be transparent kind of in this industry. So if you're watching this and you've got your favorite folks, make them aware of our presence. Shoot them a link to the promise, shoot them a link to our page. If you have somebody who you think maybe we should reach out to, shoot us an email or a DM on Twitter. We really don't want to be, we don't want to be in this role of just kind of sitting on the sidelines and saying, we really don't like that guy, or we do like that guy, or whatever.
Yeah.
We really want to have some conversations and really get into the nitty gritty of what it means to have an ethical, accountable self-help industry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm putting our website up there, seeksafely.org.
There it is.
One place you can send your favorite guru, your favorite self-help provider, or if you yourself are a self-help provider, come check us out. We'd love to chat with you and love to talk with you and love to figure out how we could work together. So
who happens to be me, I'm already aware.
Yeah.
But anybody else, go ahead and send them on.
Exactly.
Let's see if we can get Tony Robbins aware of us. Let's see how many people need to DM Tony Robbins. He probably doesn't have his DMs open. How many people need to @ Tony Robbins on Twitter until he gets curious about this Seek Safely business?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So thanks, Doc. I'm going to kick you out.
Mad. She's power mad, people.
Thanks also to a guest appearance by Abby Road. That was great. Always love to see Abby pop in.
It's true.
All right. So bye, Glenn. Thank you very much. So to talk about our sort of next goal for the year, I'm going to bring in Ginny again. Ginny, I think you're on mute. You got to unmute yourself there. And I'll take this off for us. So
hello, everyone.
So 2020 also was a big year for us in that my mom and I released the memoir that we wrote. It's called This Sweet Life, How We Lived After Kirby Died. And we released it right at the end of June. So obviously this was a very weird year to release a book. But, we've gotten great feedback on it. We had some opportunities to talk about it, which was awesome. And, but we didn't really get to party.
We didn't get to do a real book launch. That was like a real party. So we've been exploring, and we had been asked by our publisher to consider doing an audiobook. So Jean and I are committed to working on that this winter, of creating an audiobook. And she had explained to us that often when it's a memoir, it's done by the people who wrote the book. Yeah. So it should be interesting. It should be interesting. I'm hoping that will be just another vehicle to be able to tell our story and for more people to understand what actually happened, how it affected us, and then be able to share with people how we dealt with our grief, how we dealt with the media, kind of the aftermath of what happened after the trial, dealing with the trial. So there's a lot of levels here in the story as we tell it. So we're going to be recording it over the winter, and hopefully releasing it, I don't know. It may be in the fall. I'm not really sure. We are planning to do a fundraising event next November 6th. So maybe we'll do, an audio book party release that day. I'm not really sure. We'll see how that works out, but we're party people, so we've kind of missed the opportunity to gather together and have good food and libation and really have a chance with good music and celebration. So
Exactly.
we're hoping that November 6th, we'll be able to have another event at the Powelton Club in Newburgh. And we're thinking of how we might be able to also stream it and do a virtual auction so that people who cannot come to New York for that event could still participate in some way. So we'll be working on putting that together, and maybe at that point, we will have the book completed, the audio book completed. We certainly should have it done by then, Jean, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it'll be interesting, it'll be an interesting experience, us recording it. But I personally got into audiobooks in 2020, and I am like obsessed now. It's such a great way to kind of multitask. When I'm like making dinner, when I'm driving somewhere in the car, I can listen to an audiobook at that point. And I know we had a few people who were interested in asking us if we were going to do it. So I think it'll be interesting to do. And then we're definitely excited about celebrating the book a little bit more, because it was a big undertaking. And I think we're pretty proud of what we accomplished with it. So we definitely want to be able to celebrate it. And the fact that, we've already sold about 1,000 copies of it. So, a lot of people have already read it, and we've gotten good feedback on it. So, we're excited to celebrate that.
Yeah. So if you've read the book and found it to be helpful in different ways, both in knowing more of the story or maybe getting some ideas of how we dealt with the situation we found ourselves in, please encourage others that you know to get the book or share the copy that you have. Because the more people that know the story, our goal in writing the book was so that people would know Kirby, but in addition, that they would really understand why we created SEEK, and that the book would help to bring more people towards the organization. So please share it with others. We can get it on Amazon, or if you live close to me in New York, just give me a call and I'll send you a copy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So thank you, Mom, Ginny. I'm going to kick you out now, and I'm going to bring in Tony Kirby. So Tony just happens to be my uncle. And Tony...
Your proud uncle.
Yeah. And Tony has really been helping us with our legislative efforts. So we're sort of anticipating that 2021 could be a big year for the legislation. So Tony is going to give a little bit of an update now on where it stands.
We've been working on this legislation for a number of years, and it's gotten to the point now where it's a work in progress. Initially, we started working with James Skoufis, who used to be assemblyman in New York State, and now is in the Senate. So he had one bill that was in with the Assembly. When he went to the Senate, the bill slightly changed again. The number changed of the bill. And actually changed 4 times once it went over to the Senate, because we've been doing this for a number of years. But James Skoufis's office has been so supportive and helpful in trying to move this thing forward. But it can be a slow process, and we've clearly found that out. I've worked with New York State government for close to over 40 years. So I'm familiar with how the process works and all the rest of that. And, this is a piece of legislation, and the number of it now in the Senate is S 1643-2021. And I think it's a pretty strong piece because it focuses on the practitioners being held accountable, which in the self-help industry, especially for unlicensed practitioners, there is no accountability. And it also puts a requirement on them to tell their customers what they're getting into, what potential risks could be, which clearly didn't happen in Kirby Brown's situation. And it caused problems. It caused major problems. So, we're looking to strengthen it. Actually, when the legislation went into the Senate, it was kicked over to the Senate's Consumer Protection Committee, which changed some of the language and strengthened it even more. So the latest version, which I just told you about, is strong. It's on the SEEK website, and also on the SEEK website, which people should visit. If you look at it, it has the names of both your senators and assembly person listed out, depending on which area you live in. And what we'd like people to do who are out there is to reach out to their representatives and their neighbors and suggest they do the same thing, and get comments to the people who are representing them, asking them to support this bill. Because again, this is, from our perspective, one of the most important things we can get accomplished. And hopefully it starts a cycle of happening in other states. And ultimately, when we first started this effort, we tried to do it at the federal level, and we're told, it really makes more sense to start at the state level and then work your way up to the federal level. So that's kind of in the back of our minds where we're going and what we want to do. We think this is important. As I said, check out the SEEK website. It's going to give you all that information about who your representatives are, and it's fairly easy to work through, and Gene's done a great job putting it all together. It's just super. I'd also like to end with just thanking James Scofis and the people in his office who have been helpful to us, Sandy Galliff, who's also supporting the effort, and eventually we'll come up with an assembly number for the bill. We just have the Senate number right now, and Jen Metzger as well. So we couldn't do it without those people involved, and we thank them very much.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much, Tony.
Hey, no problem.
All right. So now I'm going to bring Deborah in here. As I mentioned, Deborah Goldstein is one of our original SEEK board members, and Deborah was a very good friend of Kirby's, and she's been a real asset to this organization. So we're always grateful to have her around. So two really important events that we have coming up are our annual Toast to Kirby. So that's on February 8th. And we've been doing this for a few years now, where we just invite people to, have a toast to Kirby. And if they choose to, they can, share a photo, share a video of their own toast at home. And then, this year we kind of realized, like, we've all gotten used to these virtual events. So why not sort of make a little event of it that people can participate in?
Yeah. So, on February 8th, Kirby Brown's birthday, at 8 o'clock Eastern time, we will do a live toast. So as Jean said, feel free to post pictures and videos on our Facebook feed, and then come and join us for a live toast where we can tell some stories and have a few laughs and toast to our girl.
Yeah, exactly. So we have the event on Facebook. We have it listed there as an event, and we'll put a Zoom link in there as well for people, so people can join in if they want to with us.
Yeah, and since everybody, I'm sure, has their calendars out right now, blocking that time off to make sure that they're with us on February 8th at 8 o'clock, please also mark your calendar for March 6th, which is a Sunday. Between 2 and 4 Eastern time, we are actually going to have our very first of many Seekers event. So
Yeah.
we're going to be offering some events where seekers can come and they can get some clarity. They can gain some focus about where they want to go, because until you figure out where you want to go as you're seeking, you can't really have a great start to seek. So this first event on March 6th, we're going to focus on helping seekers create an intentional plan for their self-help work.
Yeah.
So it should be an interactive, fun, and pretty substantial day where people who join us will walk out with a plan. It's based on a compass, and it is free. It is our gift to you to support you in seeking for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're very excited about that event. And again, there's information about it on our website and as well on our Facebook page. So, all right. Thank you, Deborah. So that's pretty much everything we wanted to talk about. I'll bring everyone else in so everybody can say goodbye here.
Hi.
So yeah, everybody, thank you so much
Thought you
for
went to
joining.
the store.
Yeah, so our first ever roundtable event. So we hope it was interesting for you. We hope it was instructive. And if you enjoyed it, we hope you'll also share.
I would like to reflect that ever since Ginny Brown said we are party people, I now have the 90s song Whoop, There It Is. Party people! So Ginny for that. Adding to my evening, whoop, there it is.
Well, it'll really be nice if people join us for the toast. Traditionally, it's also an opportunity if people want to make a small donation. That would be great, you know, if that's possible. So as we offer different things, certainly if you feel so inclined to provide some donation, that would be wonderful. What we've discovered is there's so much that we want to do, and some of it requires, you know, some resources, some finances. So just keep that in mind as we go through the year. And we want to thank all of the donors that were so incredibly generous in December that without donations, we cannot exist. So we want to thank everyone who's donated to the organization so that we can do the legislative work, we can get that passed, and we can continue to provide educational opportunities as well as lots of information for people. So thank you.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Hey, thank you all. Good seeing all of you.
Yeah, you too. Have a great night, everyone.
Okay, take care.
Okay.